Social media may have gotten to a point where it has completely stopped us from appreciating being supporting cast members in other people's success stories. It's not something I'm just starting to realize. I think this is just the other side of the coin in relation to a take that I had a couple months ago saying that since COVID, I genuinely believe that we got so enmeshed with this internet culture, or a lot of people did at least, that we started to really bring it out into the real world. And people either lost friends or had a really kind of distorted version of relationships or view of relationships because they were looking for fans to reflect the validation that they were willing to receive for this identity rather than friends who they had to be there and support and kind of be complimentary to. So I'm going to make a hefty prediction here. There's only two next phases for consumer technology in a sense that like affects the psychology of the human being using it. And it's people create technology, which this is why I believe so much in a second generation of like tech titans and like tech leaders that come from Gen Z, that stop looking up to fucking Zuckerberg and Elon and start looking to themselves and seeing how creative they can be with the democratized technology in today's day and age. Just using their ideas, using our suffering as Gen Z to see, hey, how can we solve or at least try to alleviate existential issues that we are facing so we can actually be the people we need to be to cater to the next generations of kids that are also not being supported by those of us who came before us and don't give a fuck. But there's only going to be two types of technology. It's going to be sending people further. Mind you, let me stop myself. Right, the phase we're in right now is digital psychosis, caused by existing for so long on these digital platforms and so much of the real world being filtered through here that we assume this is real and we allow it to fry our brains through the screens, not knowing the negative effects because we're so early in the testing process of it. Mind you, most executives of these big tech platforms, especially the social media ones, don't allow their own kids or didn't allow their own kids to have access to them, but they were shelling them off to all of everybody else's kid to experiment on, because that's what we can call it at this point. A giant social experiment that we're all participating in. Now, because these big tech companies have been able to make so much money off the attention economy, they're going to basically try to like run that through the gills. And you can see that from having not only like digital access to whether it's film and music, and these companies going straight to streaming and basically just trying to like addict your eyes to whatever screen you're watching from to see what kind of slop you're interested in that they'll end up basically sedating you with in this next stage. And then the next stage will be what I call socialized schizophrenia, which will basically be these perfectly crafted worlds. You can almost call them utopian worlds for each individual user that are either crafted off the data that was trained off of all the time you've spent on the algorithms and on these platforms to completely sedate yourself in or believe in and exist in more presently than you do your real human life, almost at a point of willingness to sacrifice this real human life and the suffering that comes with existence to exist in that utopian virtual world or reality. And the reason why I called the Google VEO3 class warfare is because it's going to be given to poor people, like who already don't have media literacy in a world where people propagandize and lie just in traditional television. Like human beings are lying to other human beings through the television, and ignorant people believe that shit. So imagine when somebody makes up a lifelike, fully reflective, lifelike video spreading this ignorance and then churning this shit out on levels unseen, unprecedented to her. I'm sorry, I can't say that word. Unprecedented to humankind up to this point. Being able to pump out marketing like Andrew Tate was able to spread his fucking bullshit philosophy. But now you're able to do it with fake videos at mass. Like you don't understand how fucking crazy that's going to get. And who's protected? Oh, these billionaires with the allegedly, bunkers. And even if they don't have bunkers, they're protected in their own communities, which they'll heavily invest in the military. And this is what we were talking about in my last vlog. They will heavily invest in militarization of America to protect themselves and their fears and insecurities at the mercy of literally turning us, human beings, into target practice, not just for others who are unaccommodated, but for the military that they're investing in, which is definitely going to be integrating artificial intelligence in their technology at some point in the next 5 years. Making these literally military forces, in-state military forces that will probably be unstoppable. Now, the other step, which is why I'm an optimist, and contains the tech leaders I believe in that still have yet to believe in themselves, whether it's because they have to get fired from their meta job right now that's cozy and letting them fucking sit on $150K for doing nothing, or it's because you're a literal like DEI hire that's just not going to get a job, and you are a reject of traditional corporate America, and you know that there's more value to you than what you're being rejected for, like myself. Actually, we'll explain that later. I believe that we are going to create the platforms that remind people. Let me just put fucking chapstick on. I keep on licking my fucking lips. I believe that we are going to be responsible for creating the platforms that not only take people out of this, or at least make people aware of the digital psychosis that they're deeply in, but it's going to allow people an ability to invert themselves back into the real world, whether it's directing people into more live events, which is very interesting connection here, I guess. That Raw Dog Run Club, I don't know if you've seen them on Instagram. They're pretty viral on there. And not that this is the only way to do it, but I think it's huge that a group like that can start a trend of bringing people from the online space, and even though it seems like a fitness trend, and bringing them into real world live events. They're even expanding beyond just a run club, and they're doing actual events and things around the world. That is the future. And this is a young dude. The dude's like 25 years old, 24 years old, who's leading this shit. And all his friends are under 30. We, Gen Z, we have to get up and do shit, bruh. All the people who led the civil rights movement were all under the age of fucking 35, bro. All the people who, even if, for my white people, all the people who did the American Revolution were under the age of like 35 too. And who's our country being run by? 80-year-old lead heads, bro, that are just these VC nightmare animals that are trying to go for option one because it's going to not only maximize the sedation of the masses for them to live in the reality that they want, but also whatever return on investment that they're overloading into AI and crypto, which I believe is a scam and it's actually not real. And that's going to get exposed, and it's going to rug pull so many people. You guys are going to be like crying. But, yeah, like I'm scared, bro. I'm scared if my fellow Gen Z superheroes don't wake the fuck up. Because it's not, we have to take this like 5-year blip before AI just like wipes everything out to really create and be as visionary as we possibly can and start developing those communities, not just networking online. This shit, we have to know that this networking online is nothing like networking in the real world. It has to lead to networking in the real world. So basically, I guess in short, what I'm trying to say is the old people are going to try to get young people online basically forever. Like old people who are going to be like killing out in the next 20 years, 10, 20 years. Or young people are going to create the technology that says, hey, old people, you guys should go like retire or do some other shit that's not like destroying the world. And we're going to take it from here. And we're going to lead the world back into the real world, and then make sure that we never become enslaved to this technology that we have to learn to master by fundamentally mastering ourselves and being grounded in some kind of reality. Like, we have been under the mercy of Mark Zuckerberg, Zucker and his friends for too long, bro. Like, you guys are already doing too much not sending him to federal prison, bro, for what he's already done. But again, there's no ethics in Silicon Valley, and there's no ethics in big tech that has bought out our federal government. So that's not going to happen. I'm willing to admit that. But, I mean, The socialized schizophrenia thing is going to be real. I'm begging you guys to credit me for that, bro. I'm begging you guys before ChatGPT throws it in your fucking essay, bro, that you end up cheating with your English class for.